great in all of the categories.
You know what it is?
Yes.
So there's Ray Allen just going there. Big Perk, why the face? Why are you making that face?
You know why I love Ray Allen, my Ubuntu brother, a brother that I won a championship with in 2008. And Ray Allen used to always say when he got on the bus, I got J's on my feet, which he wanted the world to know that he was sponsored by Jordan and he had a special relationship with Jordan. And a lot of these former players that played with under Jordan or played with Jordan, they get this care package every month, a family care package where they get boxes of Jordan shoes before everybody else, and they open them up on social media. Am I a bit jealous? Absolutely. LeBron, yes, he has to do a better job of sending shoes to Big Perk and taking care of me. But here's the problem that I have. Ray was sitting up there and he was actually talking to a group of young men, okay, and giving them misinformation. Because him saying or him trying to say that LeBron James is not the GOAT because he's not a great ball handler. Well, Michael Jordan wasn't a great ball handler. He was a good ball handler. He got to his points and his spots, and he had enough handle where he didn't turn the ball over. Okay? Michael Jordan wasn't a great three-point shooter. LeBron James isn't. But that doesn't put you in the category of being the GOAT. And I'm just very disappointed in Ray Allen because when you're talking to a group of young men and you're teaching them about history and things to that nature, you have to dive more into just being a great free throw shooter. I am very disappointed in him.
Well, I can understand why Ray would bring free throw shooting into the conversation. But Dominique, what do you think?
Yeah, no, it was funny because it was a very simplistic argument, but he was pointing to his head like he was giving them some deep stuff. Like he didn't break down any of the nuances of the game or talk about any of the stuff that these young kids wouldn't be able to appreciate. He's just like, hey, look at his free throw percentage. Like it just seemed shallow for somebody as smart and talented as Ray Allen.
Final word, Zach, go.
You know how on game shows you could just say pass if you don't want to address the topic? I just kind of want to pass this one right along. The argument really didn't make any sense. I don't really understand what was going on. I'm just
trade. Listen.
The market on Kyrie remains frozen. The only team known to have interest is the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Nets have given out the vibe that they want to do a Kevin Durant trade first before moving on to Kyrie. So Kyrie will be welcome to games. The Nets would be happy to have him attend some of their summer league games, but I think he's played his last games for the Brooklyn Nets.
All right, so all this continues to sort of develop around us, and we have Zach Lowe with us all morning long. You just saw Big Perk, and Dominique Foxworth jumps in this morning. Thank you, as always, Nika. And so, Zach, I'll start with you. We didn't really get into this as much earlier, but as far as Kyrie is concerned, it does to some degree feel like Lakers are bust on that front. Where do we stand, to the best of your knowledge, with Kyrie and his circumstance?
It does appear to be Lakers are bust, and like Wendy said, I think it's going to take a while. The Nets rather want to get the Durant thing done first. That's a much bigger deal. The return will be much bigger. We know what the return will be if the Lakers and Nets strike a deal. It'll be Russell Westbrook and either 1 or 2 first-round picks, period. The Nets aren't doing it for anything less than that, and Russ is just collateral damage in that trade. But I will say this, the longer it goes, the longer this stalemate proceeds, I do think there are going to be 1 or 2 mystery teams who look at Kyrie on an expiring contract and say, okay, nothing appears to be happening with the Lakers. Let's dive in and see how cheap we can get in on this because we've got nothing to lose if we do the deal the right way. That's the danger for the Lakers. I don't see that as imminent right now because, like Brian said, the market is beyond frozen. It's like deep freeze frozen.
Which speaks volumes to the way people view Kyrie Irving. And Big Perk, that brings it back to you and the question that is actually on the screen. Are the Lakers better off with him or better off not getting involved in that?
The Lakers are the only team that's better off with Kyrie Irving. Again, Greeny, I said this. When you look at Kyrie Irving's record with LeBron James in the postseason when they was in Cleveland, 39-13. When you talk about Kyrie Irving being consistent, playing elite level basketball consistently, showing up to work, it was alongside LeBron James. I think that's the only team that would be willing to accept Kyrie Irving. Look, you have to look around the league, right? You look at all the upcoming teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Phoenix Suns, all these young ball clubs that have young star power over there. Why would you want Kyrie Irving over there? A guy that you can't trust, a guy that you may bring in that have a horrible effect on the young players, a guy that could come in and actually demoralize your culture and, put in the minds of young players another way of thinking. He was holding practice outside of Steve Nash practices. Think about that for a second. He was holding his own practices. If you're an organization and you have young talent, why in the hell would you want Kyrie Irving in your locker room?
When you put it that way, it's very hard to argue. Dominique, you have an argument?
Yeah, no, I think that it's hard to figure out what the best physical state is, maybe California or Los Angeles, but I think we need to look at Kyrie's mental state. I think is more important than anything. And I'm certainly not going to try to diagnose him or do anything like that, but when Kyrie plays, nothing's wrong with his game. If he is in the state of mind where he wants to take over particular games or prove some sort of point, then there is no bad place for him. But I also think that maybe we're saying that being next to LeBron is the best place for him. But I'm not sure that anyone believes that just because you put him next to LeBron, that he's going to straighten up and fly right. This ain't the same Kyrie that was with Cleveland in the past. And this ain't the same LeBron that was in Cleveland in the past. So I think we all hope that Kyrie gets back to that, and we hope that being next to LeBron will kind of propel that. But he's matured into a different version of himself than what he was back then. So I don't think that we can assume that just dropping him in L.A., we get that old thing back that we had in Cleveland.
Go ahead, Perk.
Yeah, but Dominique, we're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, one of the most historical franchises in sports history. And right now, the way that they finished last season is unacceptable. This is a franchise that is all about championships. I believe they finished the season 15 games under 500. The only way for them is up. And they see that the Russell Westbrook thing isn't happening. They can't really land other big-name free agencies or go out to other guys and on other teams for his trades. So you might as well test your luck with Kyrie Irving. Hell, he act like he want to be there. So at least if he acting like he want to be there, once he get there, maybe he'll embrace the opportunity.
It feels like a marriage between the two ugliest people at prom, and it's like nobody wants to dance with me, so I guess we better dance with each other.
It's nothing like that, but okay, fair enough. I guess it's something like that, but it's kind of hard to consider LeBron James and Kyrie Irving the two ugliest ones at the prom when you consider the two of the greatest players of all time.
Zach Lowe just said nobody wants him, and Kendrick just said that the Lakers are in terrible shape and they ended well below 500 and they have no chance. It feels like nobody else is looking to join these teams. Anyway, sorry.
I'll concede the point.
Hey, Dom, real quick, can you please not ever call me Kendrick again on national television?
My bad, Big Perk. My bad, Big Perk.
All right, cool.
I want to get one other thing in here with you guys because Ray Allen went there. Okay, so if Kyrie goes to L.A., he's going to join up with LeBron James. And James, as we all know, has a career filled with all kinds of accomplishments. And many people consider him to be the greatest player of all time. His former teammate Ray Allen was asked if LeBron could be the GOAT. Listen to this exchange that ensued.
He can score and pass it. Is he a great free throw shooter? Is he a great three-point shooter? Is he a great dribbler? Oh, God. So you're saying